Okay.
Yesterday we did a show on boating safety, and today we're going to do a show on skateboard safety. And believe it or not, this skateboard phenomena is really spreading all over the country. We're going to have a lesson in a little bit, I guess, with Bob Skoberg here, or I'm going to have a lesson. Bob, I've understood that a lot of people, especially children, get hurt on skateboards. Is it because they don't wear this safety equipment that you've got me geared up with?
Well, that's one reason. A lot of the injuries that are associated with skateboarding are superficial, you know, bruising your elbows, your knees, and your head. And the set of safety gear you have on is ideal for someone who's just learning how to skate, as well as for intermediate or advanced skaters, because it does prevent those superficial injuries that normally occur.
When you say superficial, it sounds as if they're very minor, but I've heard they could be quite serious if one hits one's head.
Yeah. It could be serious if you fell on your head, of course.
What I'm getting at is, let's advise parents that if they're going to buy a skateboard for their child, to buy a headgear, helmet too.
Definitely. Helmet is part of the safety gear, and it's pretty lightweight. It's designed for freestyle skating, and if you do happen to bump your head while you're beginning to learn how to skate, it will protect you from probably seriously hurting yourself.
And I will admit to the audience that I was on a skateboard about 10 minutes ago for about 10 minutes before we started the camera rolling. And you taught me a couple of things. One was, first of all, to keep my knees flexed. Why is that important?
Well, if you don't bend your knees a little bit, you'll be much too stiff and rigid, and you wouldn't be able to center your balance over the skateboard. Similar to skiing or surfing, you have to be loose, and that means bending your knees so that you're able to flex with the movement of the skateboard. It's just part of keeping your balance, keeping your knees bent. Very important.
Also, you told me that if I were leaning forward, I wouldn't fall. Is that a guarantee?
No, that's not a guarantee, but one of the worst ways you can fall right away on a skateboard is falling onto your keister, and a lot of people do that because they lean back too far on a skateboard and the board goes out from under them. It's similar to having a rug yanked out from under your feet, and you land right on your can. And so what I suggest is emphasize leaning forward a little bit more than you normally do, just to start out skateboarding, because it's always better to fall forward. You have your hands and you have your feet to run it out. But if you fall backwards, you're much more prone to injure yourself.
This Mike is a fabulous skateboard person, and I'd like to talk with him a little bit later. But tell me, what are some of the things that he's been doing?
Right, well, for one thing, Mike's a 1976 Hang 10 world champion. He won last year's Hang 10, and probably one of the most talented skateboarders in the world today. He's going to be demonstrating some flatland freestyle tricks like 360s, walk the dog, pirouettes, board flips, endovers, wheelies of all sorts. He's known for his extremely fast footwork, and you'll see why, because he's really phenomenal on a skateboard.
I want to talk to Mike in just a minute, but first tell the folks where, I know they're at the Montgomery Mall, that's where we are now, and how long are you going to be here this week?
We're going to be here on Saturday from 10 until 1 o'clock. We'll be doing a safe skateboarding exhibition that will include safety tips, a little bit about skateboarding equipment, common sense skateboarding, and that will be followed by a freestyle demonstration which will feature Mike Weed and Skitch Hitchcock demonstrating some expertise in freestyle skating.
Well, thank you, Bob, and I want the folks to meet Mike right now.
Okay, thank you.
Mike, we've really enjoyed the exhibition we've seen so far today, and I wanted to ask you, how long have you been skating?
10 years on and off, but for 3 years I've been practicing all the tricks in a routine. In a year I've been a professional.
I see. And have you been injured very often when you were first starting?
Before safety gear came along. I haven't been injured much at all since safety gear.
How do you feel about these places, these recreational centers that are cropping up all over the nation that are oriented to skateboarding?
I think they're great because it keeps it out of the streets, and they're a lot more fun anyway. They can design them to be better than any other place you could find, and plus you usually end up getting kicked out of, like a spot you'll find you'll end up getting kicked out, and then you won't get it that wide compared to how you could get a part.
What kind of a spot did you used to find before?
Empty swimming pools, drainage ditches, and stuff like that.
That does sound dangerous.
Yeah.
I understand there's a possibility of one of these places opening up in Auburn, but it's not a definite thing, just a rumor. But I want to thank you very much for the exhibition. I'm sure lots of the folks will be looking forward to seeing you. And I hope that you'll be able to come out, and especially I hope you'll be able to buy the right safety equipment for your children if they're going to get into skateboarding at all, because the same thing with a motorcycle, you need a helmet, and with a skateboard you need a helmet, the arm pads and the knee pads. Looks like a lot of fun, but I'm still a little timid about it. We're going to have more news after this message.